Imagine local college students still living on campus are certainly feeling the effects of the stall in this economy, and many of them are understandably falling on hard times. And today, on the campus of Texas A&M Corpus Christi, Izzy's food pantry was up and running with prepackaged bags of things like meat, protein, and fruits and vegetables. College President Dr. Kelly Miller says many of these students work in retail and are waiting tables in restaurants that may be temporarily shut down right now.
These are wonderful students, hardworking students, but right now they need a little extra help. So we are actually going to double the amount of food that we give out every week.
The college is working with HEB, the Coastal Bend Food Bank, and the Coastal Bend Community Foundation to double the amount of food donations.